Hello viewers and welcome back to the channel and some hot new bike news because Cannondale have unveiled a brand new SuperX, or is it a SuperCross? I was always under the belief it was cross for cross racing, but Cannondale call it X in all their promotional videos, so what do I know? Anyway, this is a CX race bike reborn as a gravel race bike. They've essentially done the same as Specialized did with the Crux, though at 7.6 kilos for the top end Lab 71 build. It's not quite as light as the Crux, but it sure does look way more aero and therefore fast. So not a new name, but a new bike. And it's kind of interesting that rather than make the Topstone, the current gravel bike, racier, or build on the Super 6 Evo SE, a bike which won Unbound in 2024 under Lachlan Morton, they rummaged around in a range of bike models and brought back the SuperX SuperCross. And their reasoning is apparent confusion in the market with consumers around the range of bikes. But I'm not sure if this helps. Let me know what you think by dropping a comment down below. But regardless of the name, let's put the name to one side and focus on what the bike is all about. So racing on gravel is what this bike is all about. It's not a bike packing bike, it's purely gravel race. And to achieve that aim, Cannondale has, I quote here, blended insights from its world tour proven road engineering team and decades of gravel expertise. And what that actually means is a bike that takes loads of aero and carbon influence from the Super 6 Evo road race bike. So the Lab 71 has a sub 900 gram carbon frame for a painted 56, so I'm guessing about 890 grams in reality, but that's a claim weight, not an actual weight. And that frame weight is about 100 grams lighter than the non-Lab 71 bikes available in this range, thanks to more high modular carbon fiber used in the construction. So almost going back to the old days of a high mod top tier version of the Super 6 Evo and the Synapse in the old days of Cannondale road bikes. So it's pretty lightweight if the claim figures are to be believed, and also very aerodynamic, and borrows from the Super 6 Evo, the new internal routing system introduced on that bike, with a key feature being the Delta triangular shaped stereo tube that allows space for hoses inside the head tube and headset bearings, and the same Momo one-piece handlebar and stem on the top end bike. And there is no denying it's a fast looking bike that's in good company, with the likes of a Trek Checkmate, a Ridley Astra and a Canyon Grail to name a few examples. And given how fast top tier gravel racing is these days, over 20 miles per hour average for 200 miles off-road still blows my mind. Aero clearly matters and does matter to the fastest boys and girls in the gravel race scene. So it's lightweight, it's aerodynamic and it has space for big tyres. Tyre clearance is the biggest of any Cannondale gravel bike to date, so up to 51 on the front and 48 on the back with 4mm clearance between the tyre and the frame. And a question for you viewers, is that future-proofed enough or should it be wider? Love to hear your comments as always. And while I've been pushed heavily into the gravel race scene, Cannondale reckons it's still a good CX race bike with a 33mm wide UCI legal tyre. The same way the Crux, in my experience, can do CX really well with narrow tyres, but also do fast gravel with a 45mm tyre fitted. So versatile for everything from gravel race to CX racing on the weekends. So it's lightweight, it's aero with space for big tyres, and it's also going to be a fairly comfortable bike if the claims are to be believed. So Cannondale has shaped the rear stays, flattened and kinked in key places in the same way we've seen on the Synapse in the past and other key models across the Cannondale kind of history of road bikes. And they've always been good at shaping the carbon fibre and the layout of the carbon fibre to achieve quite good comfort and compliance from carbon road bikes. There's also a D-shaped seat post as well, so aerodynamic, and also helps, they say, to absorb shocks and vibration too. Now, it's not a bike designed to be versatile. There are no mounts for fenders or mudguards or extra bottles and bags. The only mounts you get is a hidden bento mount on the top tube, which is very common in the gravel space for putting a bag there for your snacks and gels and stuff, but I'm not really a fan of that sort of bag. Yeah, so could do more bike packing mounts, but if you want more bike packing mounts, you buy the Topstone, not this new bike. I get the reasoning for not having mounts on a frame designed for racing, but something like an MV Mog still has plenty of mounts for bike packing, if you want to go bike packing, but it's still very racy and aero, lightweight, and has space of wide tyre too. So I can't decide whether a bike designed for racing should cater for bike packing as well, or whether that stripped back look is something that people buying that bike want. The pros don't care about a bike that's not as versatile as it could be, but for us consumers buying a bike, we might be going gravel racing one weekend and bike packing the weekend after. So having a more versatile bike appeals to me more than a bike that has a singular focus, because yes, the pros will race it and do very well on it, I'm sure. They are paid to ride their bikes and promote their bikes and show how good they are for racing. But how many people actually buying these race bikes are actually racing every weekend and not doing something more outside of the racing world? Geometry is also interesting as well, with a trend for a longer front center, a slacker head angle, and a longer 55mm fork brake to give more stability on rough trails at high speed, and also fairly nimble, agile handling and steering too, similar to the Crux, which are quite long and designed around a short stem and wide handlebar, and really a mountain bike influence that does benefit handling on these bikes. And the last tech detail on the bike is, of course, there's no PressFit bottom bracket. Cannondale has now ditched a standard they launched to the world, BB30, and like most bikes in their new range these days, it has a 68mm threaded bottom bracket. And in case you're wondering, there's no SmartSense on the bike at all, and there's no dished AI rear wheel either, so a new bike is very standard in most ways. So let's talk money and prices and what the bike will cost you, and there are 3 builds available at launch price from $4,200 up to $15,000. Ouch. Cannondale is still pushing its Lab 71 as its S-Works AMG best of the best, and these frames get the best carbon fibre blend, so they're lighter than the lower tier models, which saves about 100 grams in their claims thanks to a higher modular carbon fibre used in the construction of the frame, and higher quality, flashier, snazzier paint finishes as well. And with a SRAM Red Explore 13-speed group set and reserve wheels, this model weighs a claimed 7.6 kilos. You can also buy the frame sets on its own if you want to build a bike to your specification as well. And then there are 2 models which are more affordable, no, not cheap, but affordable in this range, with Shimano GRX 2x group sets, Di2 or mechanical depending on your price point, and they have that slightly heavier frame. And it's a very small range, it has to be said. No cheaper 1x options, which is a shame, and limited colour options as well, and colours that look pretty boring to me. And claim weights are 9.1 and 8.4 for those lower tier models. So how's the new bike fare against the competition? Well, I've not ridden the bike yet, of course, but on looks and spec alone, I think it looks pretty good. And current gravel race bikes that are popular right now and which you might shortlist include the likes of the Canyon Grail, the BMC Cayuse, the Ridley Astra, the MV Mog, the 3T Explorer, the Scott Addict Gravel, the Trek Checkmate, the Specialized Crux, and the Cervelo Espero, to name a few. Most of these bikes have a lot in common, and tyre clearance that varies from a fairly skimpy 42 on the Grail to 47 on the Crux to a massive 57 on a 3T Extrema Italia. So it does compare well to those bikes in terms of features, with tyre clearance that's up towards the sort of mid to high end of what you might expect these days, and a weight that's fairly reasonable. Nothing kind of off the scale amazing in terms of aero, although not seeing any aero claims, weight or features, but looks pretty good all round. But it's a shame there's only 3 models to choose from right now. Maybe that'll change in the future, but for now it means a limited range of options versus the competition where there are more price point focused options. So super quick news story on the brand new Cannondale SuperX Supercross. Let me know your thoughts by dropping a comment down below. Does it make it onto your shortlist if you're in the market for a gravel race bike? And how many of you are in the market for a gravel race bike versus something that's more versatile? Love to hear your thoughts as always. And if you want to see a roundup of some of the best gravel bikes you can buy right now, then make sure to hit the video right here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button right here. But that is all for today. I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.